What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Renegade Pop Culture Jukebox. I am your host, Mike. Joining me is my co-host, Nick.
Hey, guys.
And this week, we'll be talking about the much-anticipated solo record from Slipknot and Stone Sour frontman Corey Taylor. Now, this has been in the works for a while now. The first single was released towards the end of July. And before we actually get into our main thoughts, Nick, I want to ask you what you're expecting before we start hearing new music.
Okay, so I might as well jump in and start with establishing this from the get-go. I'm a rather big Slipknot fan. I'm also a rather big Stone Sour fan. And I've kind of just paid attention to what Corey's kind of done outside of both of those bands, especially with book tours. So for me, he's been talking about it, but it sounded like he was going to do this towards after Slipknot, maybe after Stone Sour, kind of like as I'm a 60-year-old guy making a Johnny Cash sounding kind of record. But no, I didn't expect it to be this soon that we'd get a solo outing from him, to be honest. With this, though, I knew it was going to be different from the get-go. I really want to stress this to people because I always see this in the comments whenever Slipknot gets posted on any metal site, Metal Injection, what have you. So people, do not go in expecting this to be Iowa to Electric Boogaloo because you're going to be pissed.
That's a very good disclaimer. And even in my own Facebook post, I said that I knew right away this was going to be completely different. It's not Slipknot, it's not Stone Sour, except for maybe one song. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah, I've been saying this for at least about the good past year. Slipknot fans on the internet have kind of killed my love for Iowa for me. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate the record. For me, it's just everybody acts like that's all Slipknot have ever done, acting like this is just them making a tech death album, essentially. Like, I don't understand how everybody expects them to only do that, and they're always just going, oh, Corey, he's not supposed to be doing clean vocals. Explain everything ends to me. Explain My Plague to me. Explain the breakdown of Disaster Piece for me. Like, come on. For me, I've always just found that kind of critique ridiculous about, once he started clean singing more, because his voice is incredible.
Oh, hell yeah.
Even with Stone Sour, with the House of Golden Bones duology, that's really where his voice for me has kind of started getting like better and better. With even Point 5, the Gray Chapter, like that's when his voice became like more notable for his clean singing. So I'm just gonna stress this to anybody: go in expecting a bare bones hard rock type album. Don't go in expecting a bunch of re-recordings of People Equals Shit for an hour.
Yeah, like to me, this sounds more like a Slash featuring Miles Kennedy record. It has that sort of bounciness to the riffs.
I can kind of picture that. I was actually more thinking Thin Lizzy listening to this.
I can hear that with the acoustic rhythm section.
For me, it was actually just like all of the guitar harmonies that were all over this thing.
Oh yeah, of which there were many.
Yeah, especially, well, kind of makes sense why it would be there, mainly because there was, just given how much melody there was on Hydrograd, Christian, the guitar player that ended up replacing Jim Root, also from Slipknot. Yeah, there was like a lot more like harmonizing with Josh on that last Stone Sour record. So with it, and plus, fun fact, Christian's actually a member of Black Star Riders, the Thin Lizzy but not Thin Lizzy band.
Oh, interesting. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently he joined right after Stone Sour stopped touring, potentially for good.
That kind of leads into my next question. Do you think Corey's solo gig is going to replace Stone Sour?
For the time being, probably. I have no idea really when Stone Sour is going to be doing anything else. Um, I know that I just saw an article earlier today, actually, that Corey and Clown are talking about a new Slipknot record. When touring resumes, I'm assuming Roy Mayorga is going to be doing more stuff with Hell Yeah because he's filling in for Vinnie Paul. I have no idea what Josh is up to. He always just seems to be going to concerts from his Instagram page. What I'm kind of hoping is they just get like kind of an original lineup back together, like get Jim, Roy, and Josh and Corey back in the room together again. Maybe do more of a concept piece like House of Golden Bones again.
Yeah, I would really like that. I think in my opinion, that double record is probably one of their best one of their best Stone Sour records.
For me, it's either second best or my favorite. Come Whatever May is just way too strong of an album. And then again, I stress this to everybody whenever I talk about Slipknot. I really do. I don't understand the sudden hatred for Point Five the Gray Chapter now, because like when that album dropped, everybody was like, yeah, this album's fucking great. It's back to old school like Iowa and Volume 3. And then just like in the past 2 years, everybody acts like it was some kind of a failing. I just find that so hilarious.
Yeah, I have no idea where that hate came from.
I'm just going to make fun of deathcore seenie weenies and tech death kids just wanting Iowa for the 80th time.
Now, don't get me wrong, Iowa is great, but
Oh, again, I don't hate it. It's just, for me, a lot of people have just kind of ruined whatever love I used to have. I wouldn't say used to have for it, but just I can go a couple years without hearing it.
right, it has that reputation that a lot of bands have, where like the fans want to box them into like a particular sound from a particular era.
Yeah, which another thing I'm really just going to point out that I find kind of hilarious about that is just let's just take it back to like 2008 when nu metal. I don't think Slipknot's a nu metal band. I really don't. They're way too heavy for that category. Way too much focus on blast beats. Yeah, the rapping is there, but it's not like to Limp Bizkit degrees, especially when they start adding more guitar solos. And plus, all of the DJ stuff for me was always just kind of background stuff to add to the atmosphere, not just, trying to rip off Run DMC or Public Enemy.
And there's only a few tracks where it's noticeable.
Mainly Spit It Out.
Yeah.
But actually, I have Wikipedia open, by the way, and I have notes as usual, just because I like to go into these prepared. I'm really thinking about it now after hearing the album a couple of times. This kind of feels like the logical progression of Hydrograd now that I'm really thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I actually agree with that. Like Hydrograd was a perfect kind of transition from let's assume that was the swan song for Stone Sour. It's like that kind of prepares you for CMFT.
Yeah, well, even just looking at the live stream he just did at the Forum in LA, he's mainly doing like a lot of like more the ballads that Stone Sour would have done, and of course Snuff from Slipknot. But yeah, when you really get down to it, it's kind of, I really think that because it is kind of jarring going from like House of Golden Bones, where it's this dark concept piece where there's like, not that there weren't solos on Hydrograd, but there's a lot more focus on like technical soloing, a lot more focus on like thrashy riffage, and then with Hydrograd, it's more like it's somewhat of a traditional rock album in Stone Sour's format. So for me, now that I'm really thinking about it, he was kind of preparing us for what's going to come next.
and I'm kind of glad he did, because on the whole, I really like this album for what it was.
Yeah, my main thing is, we were talking about this before we started recording. I think it's good for what hard rock should be. This is bare basic hard rock. If that's not your thing, well, I don't know why you're listening to metal to begin with, because that was practically an influence on it. But, besides the point. For me, again, bare basic hard rock record. Just going off my notes, I'm just going to go into the pros first. It's very well produced. Jay Rustin, who did the last Stone Sour album, he was behind the mixing board. Everything sounds good. Everything's properly leveled. I didn't notice anything too off. I didn't notice any, because I know Corey also loves to mainly do stuff live and in the studio, as opposed to just doing what every modern rock band on the radio loves to do: auto-tune everything, sample replace the drums. Just everything sounds like an actual live band, and it can be replicated live.
Yeah, I think the production is one of the strongest things about this record. And both times I listened to it, I had my Bose earphones, and it just sounds very, very crisp, but it sounds authentic. It doesn't sound overly produced or anything. It
sounds like it has dirt under its nails.
Exactly.
Yeah, and plus, I'm even just looking at Jay's discography outside of this. I knew he did the last couple Avatar records. He also I think he's pretty much done every Steel Panther record. He's done worship music by Anthrax. He did mixing for more of the death metal side of things, the last Cataclysm album, not the newest one on Conquered. And he actually did the newest Amon Amarth album.
Ooh. Yeah, he's got a nice resume.
And what else do I have for notes? So as for playing, it looks like Corey he said that he's mainly gotten a bunch of his friends from like the past 20 years to be the musicians on here. I'm not seeing much of a Wikipedia page on here for most of them. I mainly just know Christian from his time in Stone Sour and from being in Black Star Riders, aka not Thin Lizzy, but Thin Lizzy. But yeah, looks like, just judging it as standard hard rock, the musicians he's got, they're competent players. It's not like somebody's out of time. It's not like somebody has to go in and fix it in the mix. It actually sounds like somebody's actually able to replicate it live, which kind of should be the point of your rock band.
Yeah, if you're gonna call yourself a rock band, you have to have a little bit of musical proficiency that can be performed both live and in studio.
And I'm gonna kind of go back to the whole Slipknot thing, because I think you might have seen my recent Instagram post about this album. And again, I want to establish this too. I don't hate this record either, but the last Slipknot album is just kind of aging worse and worse for me the more I think about it. And when I say that, I'm mainly talking about it from a lyrical standpoint. Like for me, I just was not a big fan of the lyrics on that album, mainly because you can't, that's the thing about Corey lately. You can't really talk about him without going into his personal life, but he did say that the lyrics were like really based off of him and his divorce with his last wife. And for me, that just, something about the lyrics there kind of rubbed me the wrong way. For me, the lyrics on this album instead, he sounds like he's having a lot more fun this time around.
Yeah, this, like, it kind of feels cathartic that for this record he gets to just cut loose, play with his friends, and have a good time.
Yeah, and for me, like, just I wanted to listen to it a second time before jumping in on this, because lyrically it's competent for its genre. I don't want to keep using the same phrase over and over again about basic hard rock, but it at least is good because of the vocals, just because of his vocal skill. I'm just going to say that because really, I think just thinking about one of Crash Thompson's I Hate This Song videos, even if your lyrics are kind of stupid or kind of basic, at least have a good vocal performance to kind of back it up.
Yeah, vocals can make or break a song, and anytime Corey sings, it's always at least like the end product will always be at least listenable.
Yeah, and when I was just making that comment about "We're Not Your Kind," I'm not saying that the vocals are exactly bad. It's just for me, again, it's the lyrics that are kind of iffy for me. But for me, the lyrics here work fine for what it is. Just kind of jumping, like even though there's a lot of love songs on here, like Black Eyes Blue, Home, which are about his current wife, like those I can tell he's having a lot more fun with this as opposed to Nero Forte, which I know that's like the fan favorite, but I'm somebody's gonna hate me for this. I was not a fan of that song, honestly.
From a lyrical standpoint, I understand.
Yeah. Just PS, just to include one more thing to at least give the albums the last Slipknot record, I mean, some kind of a comment. At least it has Red Flag and Solway Firth, which, yeah, I legitimately at least listen to those actively. Anyway, back to the record at hand. Anything else I can really think of? The guitar solo on Manelu, that's probably like the highlight of the album for me.
That whole track I think is a highlight for me. I put in my notes it's very Van Halen inspired, especially with the percussion.
Yeah, it's got a very Hot for Teacher kind of drum beat, I'd say. I mean, hell, even going back to Hydrograph, he even does he's even got a Van Halen cover of Unchained on there. So yeah, I picture that 100%. And yeah, just I might as well go through the best songs. Highway 666 is a really good opener too.
Oh yeah.
Like that at least starts the album out with some punch and some energy, which is great. So, and plus it's a song about, it's basically The Devil Went Down to Georgia, but sung by Corey and not, the overdone covers that we've been getting from everyone lately.
Yeah, what's up with that? I've like Korn, Nickelback, and I'm sure there's like a few others like this year alone have all covered The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
I'm just sick of cover songs dominating everything, which, yeah, Corey really could have phoned it in and just put nothing but covers on here, which thankfully that's not the case. And we'll probably get to the title track in a couple seconds, but really there's not a ton of guests on here, not a ton of covers of more known songs, which is great. So at least Corey hasn't gotten bitten by the five-fingered donkey punch bug lately.
Yeah, thank God for that. I am a little bit disappointed that there aren't a few, like at least a few more guest spots aside from the title track.
I'm really kind of wondering, just because of how I know how big of a Hailstorm fan he is. I'm kind of surprised he didn't try to get Lizzie on here for a track at least, but what can you do? All right, so do you want to get into cons then?
We might as well rip off the Band-Aid.
Yeah, so I warned you this before your first listen. The last three songs for me are really jarring in terms of flowing into each other. So Home, again, good song. It is one of the best tracks on the record, but really going from that to a rap rock song with Kid Bookie and Tech Nine, and then kind of a hardcore punk song about toilet paper on a European tour bus, kind of awkward.
Yeah, I think these would have worked better as bonus tracks because I like the concept of the title track. I just don't know if it fits tonally with the first 10.
Yeah, I can kind of picture that. I can mainly just say that because Tech Nine and Kid Bookie are his buddies, so that's probably why he's included them on his album.
Yeah,
And keep in
Corey
mind,
was even a guest on one of Kid Bookie's songs, either last year or like from 2018.
pulling up the internets right now, the Kid Bookie feature was 2019. So yeah, you were right. It was like beginning of that year.
Oh, and I guess he was also on Tech Nine's special effects album on the song
And
Wither.
and also on another Tech song, which is on an upcoming, from the looks of things, an EP called More Fear.
So yeah, he wanted to do a rap song with his friends. That's fine.
Yeah, and keep in mind when we say that, we're not talking like Limp Bizkit or Kid Rock. We're more I would kind of go more for Aerosmith or Run DMC. That's the easiest way I can kind of sell this to somebody.
Or the Anthrax song I'm the Man.
Yeah. Hey, keep in mind, don't forget Bring the Noise, man. Don't forget that one.
And Bring the Noise. Speaking of Anthrax, a quick aside. Does anyone remember when Corey Taylor was almost going to be a member?
Yes, I do. And also almost going to be in Velvet Revolver.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
P.S. Controversial opinion. I kind of wish we got a Velvet Revolver reunion instead of a Guns N' Roses reunion, but that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Although, who would they get to replace Scott?
Well, they had Corey, so they had a perfectly good replacement right there. But I shouldn't say replacement, just kind of given that Scott's no longer with us. Still bummed about that. But yeah, you had a perfectly suitable follow-up vocalist, for lack of a better phrase that I can't think of right now.
Man, that would have been awesome if Corey joined up with Velvet Revolver.
Oh, I would have paid money to see that. And I guess some more cons. Like I mentioned, I really do think Home should have been the closing track on here. And really, European Bathroom song. I mean, European Bathroom. Hang on, I can't say it right without it in front of me. European Tour Bus Bathroom song, whatever, same point. Lyrically, it's literally, I didn't even realize this until having it in front of me. It's, please do not put paper in the toilet, please, provided. So I have no idea if this is like some kind of inside joke with him. So I have no idea really what the point of the song is.
Yeah, this is a pretty disposable track.
Yeah, it can just kind of be there. Given it's a debut album for him solo-wise, I'm going to cut it a little bit of slack, just as long as it just doesn't become a reoccurring habit.
Yeah, it's a track that like we definitely didn't need, but hey, at least like if you take out the lyrics, it's kind of a fun like thrashy punk song.
Yeah, that's what I put for my notes. Kind of a looking at the notes, and yeah, just then going from the rap rock song to a thrash metal / hardcore style song. So that's really all I've got for cons. Beyond that, I can't, if you've got another thing, Mike, throw it out there, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, as far as cons, I have very little. Really, just I personally would have liked the album to end with 10 tracks, well, 11 if you count Home. I think that song is a perfect closer. But other than that, I think just as a solid hard rock album, this definitely whet my appetite for that kind of simple throwback to, you know, guys like Van Halen, Thin Lizzy, you know, bands with like that sort of simple yet enjoyable vibe.
Yeah, I have a for fans of section written. Like, if you like stuff like Hailstorm, if you like the classic Thin Lizzy records, if you like Danko Jones, the last couple Volbeat records, like you said, Van Halen, you're going to dig this record. I would say if you're a Slipknot and Stone Sour fan that can dig that style, there's plenty to enjoy on here.
Yeah, what I said in my Facebook post is like, if you're a Corey Taylor fan, then go into this with an open mind, because it has everything you like about him as a vocalist. Like I don't want to say this is his best record, but it is the one that is the most, it's the most authentic to him and how he's feeling right now. Just like not overthinking anything, just hanging out with his friends, jamming out, and having a good time.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go for another kind of Slipknot kind of description. So, like, if Joey's kind of more the old school death metal and black metal kind of guy, Clown's like the super experimental indie kind of guy, Jim's like the old school thrash, but also digs like, prog and maybe Radiohead, throw that in there. Sid's the hip hop guy. Corey's more the alt rock and like 70s hard rock kind of guy. So this really does fits a lot in his lane. So again, if you like this kind of style, this record's going to be worth checking out for you. I'm just really happy he did not include any terrible features with Ronnie Radke.
Oh yeah, he's one of those people I'm glad was not invited.
Oh, well, he was sadly in the music video. At least he got good people for the music video for the most part.
Oh yeah, that music video was fun.
Yeah, that's my thing with that title track, though, is that I really feel like everybody's overreacting to it just because Loudwire and Metal Injection and Blabbermouth post about him all the time. Like, if Corey Taylor's really the thing that you just can't stand, it just keeps scrolling, dude. It's not worth giving yourself a massive vein in your forehead. It's not like you're being subjected to an Attila album.
Yeah, seriously, I see more like Corey Taylor headlines from those two sites than like anything else.
Which, I mean, I get it, just because like Slipknot's one of the biggest selling bands in metal right now, so I can't get too pissy about it. And plus, like, really calling people who are like, oh, if you think this is the absolute worst thing that's come out this year, look, I've got my worst of 2020 in front of me. Spoiler alert for later on, hopefully. Like, Trapped put out a new album this year. 6 Feet Under put out an album this year. Five Finger Death Punch and Asking Alexandria put out albums this year. Like, if this is the worst thing you've ever heard, probably stop listening to music. Or at least take a break so you don't see Corey on Loudwire or Metal Injection every 5 minutes, which I can't even blame the guy for that because they're news sites. They're going to.
Yeah. Plus, right now, rock and metal don't really have a star, so Corey is about the closest thing they have right now.
And hey, at least he takes out fresher, younger bands out on tour like this. As much as I wasn't a big fan of some of the bands on the tour that was supposed to happen this summer, them taking Code Orange out all the time is a good thing. Them taking Behemoth out is a good thing. Them doing Knot Fest is a good thing. So I got no qualms with the guy. But I will say this, just because I do see this come up when people bitch about Metallica and Slipknot getting, Corey in particular, getting posted. I'm going to shout out albums that came out this week just to kind of like even the playing field. We've got a new Anal Nothrak album, new album from them called Darkenment, sorry. I haven't jammed it yet, but just because of how stacked this week is, that is on my list. We've got new Devil Driver, which is supposed to be part of a double album. So Dealing with Demons Part 1, I just checked that out today.
Yeah, I still need to listen to that one.
If you like groovy, heavy riffs, if even the track with Dez doing clean vocals, I was concerned when I heard that, but in execution, it works. It's not to the degree of Lamb of God or Whitechapel's last couple albums where it's added for more effect and atmosphere and just adding a sense of variety, but it's still Devil Driver. It works really well. And plus, if you like Gojira mixed with Devil Driver with more emphasis on the groove than the mellow death, this is worth checking out. Then my absolute favorite album that came out this week, New Enslaved.
Ooh, I'm excited to dig into that.
Yeah, Utgard has broken my top 5 for the year. Anytime Enslaved releases a new album, it's essential listening. You have to go out and buy it. You have to go get the CD and the vinyl. I would say this is their most proggy album. I wouldn't say all of the black metal's gone necessarily, but more emphasis on prog this time around rather than their earlier work, which is more like Viking / black metal.
Yeah, you and I before have talked about my, for lack of a better term, struggles with black metal, but hearing that this new album has more progressive elements has me excited to dig into it.
Well, Enslaved have been kind of doing that ever since, I want to go back as far as Monumention from 2001. So they've really been doing that, but like I feel like a lot of it doesn't. This is a far cry from the million other bands just sounding like Dark Throne clones being recorded 666 feet deep, buried in concrete with the worst possible mix on a Fisher-Price microphone. And don't get me wrong, I like that kind of stuff, but yeah, when you hear that 18 different times, it just kind of stops being exciting. But Enslaved, they're probably one of the most exciting bands in black metal right now, and prog for that matter.
Awesome. Now, before we wrap this up, do you want to preview albums that are coming out for the rest of the month? Because I'm seeing some names that are pretty exciting.
Oh yeah. So, oh god, why are Five Finger Donkey Punch releasing another greatest hits album? No, we're skipping that. Okay, new Necrophobic, much better. So, Necrophobic, amazing black and death metal band out of Sweden. Go check them out. They're awesome. New album Dawn of the Damned comes out next Friday. New album from the Unguided, aka What Sonic Syndicate Used to Be. Album's called Father of Shadow. Go check that out too. New Morse Persimpium Est with the album 7 comes out on the 21st. We've got a Marty Friedman solo record.
Hell yeah.
So Pallbearer, they're dropping a new album, Forgotten Days. Seven Dust are coming back with a new record, Blood and Stone. Zeal and Ardor dropping an EP. And the EP I'm excited about, though, is the new Carcass.
Yes. I have been craving new Carcass for quite some time.
Just for the record, for anybody who hears this out of context, we're talking about an amazing band from the UK, not that kind of Carcass.
Yes.
So, yeah, like even if it's been 7 years since Surgical Steel dropped, I'm happy they're at least coming back with some new music. They're holding off their new album in the meantime, but they're at least dropping something, so I'm happy about that. And surprise, motherfucker, Mr. Bungle's back.
Ooh.
Yeah, they re-recorded their demo with the greatest title ever, The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny.
I love it.
And plus Scott Ian from Anthrax and Dave Lombardo, who used to be in Slayer and is now in Suicidal Tendencies, he's on the album. So, and plus it's more Mike Patton. Everybody needs more Mike Patton in their life.
2020 is it's coming out with with some pleasant surprises for metal, and this is certainly one of them.
I'm saying this year is probably giving last year a run for its money in terms of new records. So, like, hell, I'm still pretty far behind on stuff that even came out earlier this year. Like, I've got a laundry list, so
Same.
I'm not going to be surprised if I end up getting 100 albums this year.
Yeah, one of these days we'll have to do a full breakdown of 2020.
I'm pretty much just going to be like, look, I'm just going to have it be top 20, barrel through 20 to 11, and then just talk more in detail about 10 to 1. But no, like I'm already at like 62 different records, so that'll probably just like go in a description.
Yeah, I'm excited for once I finally catch up with everything. All right, so before we head out, Nick, where can everyone find you online?
Okay, so same thing as last time. I am Super Saiyan Death Metal God on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me on those. Instagram is doing quite well. My post about Spiritual Black Dimensions by Dimmu Borgir actually got pretty close to like 230, so it's doing very well. So go binge like everything and follow. Please tell your friends if you want new music. I'm your guy. And yeah, I always just have it go straight to Twitter too. So
Yeah, definitely give him a follow. And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Captain K42. Check out all my quick thought movie reviews on letterboxd.com/Coach K42. And find me in all the various movie Facebook groups just at my name. Don't forget to check out Renegade Pop Culture on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Follow our Twitter account at Ren Pop Culture. And don't forget, check out renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we. That'll do it for this installment of the Renegade Pop Culture Jukebox. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Peace.